another episode of Ask Grimm. Yeah, it's certainly been a little bit, but holiday season as well as hammering out a 40-page script for another channel will do a lot to you. Hope everyone had a good holiday season, by the way, as well as a good New Year's. And of course, thank you once again for asking your questions. I really do appreciate it. Alright, let's get into it. Fan-Boi X Jr asks, favorite episodes of Power Rangers of all time? Favorite Power Ranger? Underrated Power Ranger villain? Overhated Power Ranger? Best joke of Survivor? Which old challenges would you like to see in the newest seasons of Survivor? Worst episode of Survivor of all time? And have you played the Survivor video games? Alright, favorite episode of Power Rangers of all time? Gonna be a basic bitch here, but I'm gonna go with Forever Red. Really good shit. Especially if you were a fan of the first 8 seasons. Favorite Power Ranger? Honestly, I would say a tie between Tommy and probably Carter from Lightspeed. Although there is some good stuff from the newer seasons. Underrated Power Ranger villain. I know a lot of people give Diva Talk shit, but I think she was a decent villain, all things considered. Certainly better than the fucking Machine King, or whatever the fuck his name was. Overhated Power Ranger. Okay. I think Justin gets a lot of flack when it's like, he really didn't do anything wrong, and I think it was some well-needed material for the series, because, like, I may get into this if I ever review Zero plot twist, but I am, but details. But by Turbo, the original cast was getting very long in the tooth, and having someone like Justin really added some fucking life to the series again. So I think he just gets a little too much hate. Best joke of Survivor?
He did me wrong. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. After I kiss you.
That shit is so fucking stupid that I can't help but laugh at it. I don't think it helps that Big Tom's reaction just kind of sells it too. Old challenges I'd like to see return. Honestly, I'm a sucker for, like, the gross out challenges, because it really pushes them to their limits. There's a couple other challenges outside of that. Like, I think you could repurpose a few of the Redemption Island duels into challenges for the main show. That could probably work. Outside of that, I don't think there's any off the top of my head, because a good chunk of them have been reused throughout the seasons. Worst episode of Survivor? Honestly, it's the episode where, Kelly got eliminated from Island of the Idols, because I think it was the same episode where she reported her sexual harassment, and instead of the crew and everyone else deciding to get rid of Dan, they decide to pick off Kelly, and I'm like, you're fucking serious, guys? Really? Like, you don't tell Dan to go fuck himself, you don't kick him off, you just let him stay on, and the episode just gets worse when you look at it, because some people, like, I think it was 2 of the members, they made up stories to, like, get on Kelly's side, only to reveal fabricated. Needless to say, I was happy when those 2 bitches were fucking eliminated, because, Jesus Christ, they make it worse for legitimate victims of assault and harassment. I think they apologized, though, but still, like, what the fuck? Needless to say, yeah, fuck that episode. As for playing the video games, I wanted to play the Australian Outback at one point. I think I might find it eventually, but I haven't really been looking for it. Outside of that, I think there was a Wii game. I know Koh-Lanta has a game, like the French show, but it's region locked, I think, to France, so I haven't touched it. But no, I haven't played any of the video games. I'm looking into it, though, in the future. Maybe. Unova XY asks, do you plan on reviewing DC Superhero Girls? Like I said, I added it to the request list. It's just a matter of getting to it, which I have a lot of projects, so it's just a matter of when. So, yes, I will have reviewed eventually. That's the idea of the request list. Worst channel we've ever seen asks, have you ever seen Tokyo Revengers? No, but I've certainly heard a lot of interesting shit about it, particularly its ending, which I'm not going to spoil it for those who haven't read that point, but yikes. CaptainSmartiyePants asks, any thoughts on Ezra Miller? Fuck them. They are a piece of shit. Jesus fucking Christ. SSJSora asks, have you played the Callisto Protocols and favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTubers? I haven't played Callisto Protocol, but I've heard a lot of bad shit about it. But no, I haven't touched it yet. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Tubers, I think I've seen duologues a couple of times. And that's about it. I'm more so a casual player of Yu-Gi-Oh! Than, like, a professional / diehard fan of it nowadays. So I've kind of mellowed out in that aspect. ShippudenLegend asks, what are your issues with Sword Art Online, and what are your thoughts on High Guardian Spice? My main issues, at least with the first season / version of Sword Art, because I haven't seen Sword Art 2 yet, and the follow-ups, but I don't like the characters, I don't like the storytelling, I don't like the treatment of the female cast, especially Asuna after the first arc ends. It's a mess. I've heard that the series does get better, and if that is the case, I hope so. Because, hey, not everyone can have a great start, but I'm not really interested in seeing it anytime soon. Like, maybe one day, but for now, that's my issues with the original Sword Art Online series. I cannot speak, though, of anything past the first series. So Sword Art 2 onwards does improve things. That's cool, but I haven't seen it. So I'm mainly just judging the original series. As for High Guardian, not a fan. Just not a fan. However, I'm not reviewing it because, first off, the horse has been beaten to shit, but secondly, there's no reason for me to review it because everyone has talked to death about it, and there's not much I can really add to the table. Plus, I refuse to subject myself to pain. I did that enough times last year. CaptainFlamingoFan asks, has you seen Disney's new cast's Oh Boy, Could Disney Lose Mickey Mouse in 2024 video? I haven't, but it sounds interesting. So, not yet, but I'm interested in checking it out. Girl AHJ asks, have you seen the Velma series, and is it as bad as everyone said, and do you think that the Scooby-Doo formula is bad? Haven't seen Velma outside of some screenshots and clips, and I don't plan on watching it because I'm not giving them money to make another season, although it's kind of already too late, but I'm not giving that studio money, and I refuse to subject myself to crap, at least not this early in the year, because I did that too much last year, and I kind of want a little bit of a break for now. As for the Scooby-Doo formula, I think it works fine enough. I don't think it's bad. Like, there's a reason why the series is still going to this day, outside of it being a potential cash cow. I think the formula works fine enough. And I think with newer installments, they do add some depth and change to it to make it stand out to an extent, which is a good thing. Commando Big Lady Officer asks, are there any 80s anime that you think deserve a lot better? Yeah, I'd say so. I think Fist of the North Star deserves a better adaptation that isn't in form of movies. Lorenzo asks, have you ever played any fighting games? Do you have Fightcade, favorite Yu-Gi-Oh archetype, favorite non-strategy RPG, and thoughts on the new Cygames anime? Outside of Smash Brothers, I've played one entry in the BlazBlue series. I played a few of the Naruto and Ultimate Ninja Storm games. And outside of that, I think I played King of Fighters for like 5 minutes before I got bored. Played Street Fighter 2 for a little bit. Not really my thing. I'm not really much of a fighting games fan. As for Fightcade, no, because I'm not really much of a fan of fighting games in general outside of stuff like Smash, so I don't really see a need to get Fightcade. As for favorite Yu-Gi-Oh archetype, probably the Blue Eyes Dragon set, because, like, I think it's just neat. I guess outside of that, though, the Arcana Force set is pretty good. So either one of those two. Non-strategy RPG, probably, I want to say Mass Effect to an extent, or Kingdom Hearts, because those are technically not strategy RPGs. So, I'll go with Kingdom Hearts. And the new Cygames anime, I have no idea what that is, but neat, I guess? Princess Fan Lady 2000 asks, what do you think about the Undertale fanbase, and have you played Hogwarts Legacy? I think the Undertale fanbase is fine, outside of some select individuals that fuck it up for everybody. Yeah, needless to say, when it comes to shit like Glitch Tale, I just recommend watching Queen Seraphina's video on it because she goes into much more detail on the situation than I ever could. As for Hogwarts Legacy, I am not bothering with that game. Just, no. There are so many better games I think you could play instead, and I'm not going to give any money to a transphobe. GeorgeLPO asks, what do you think of Tinder? It's a website. It exists. Not really my thing, though, because I'm not really in the dating thing, so... But yeah, it's like, it exists. Darth Deathkiller09 asks, have you played the PS2 Ghost Hunter? If so, what do you think of it, and did you prefer the old or slim PS2? In regards to your first question, no, I haven't played the game. It looks interesting, though, I'll say, but I haven't played it yet. And do I prefer the old or slim? I honestly prefer the old PS2, because that's what I had when I was growing up before I sold it. The slim looks fine, but I think I prefer the old one just because of nostalgia. BlaCkNuurseVVitchUi asks, have you heard the news about the Winnie the Pooh horror movie? Yeah. It's just, what the fuck. Robototodo asks, have you seen Logan Paul's response about the NFT scams, ever played Blasphemous, and have you seen Peter Grill in the Philosopher's Time anime? Yes, I've seen the response Logan Paul has produced about the NFT scam, and fucking yikes on his end. Jesus Christ. I played Blasphemous, had a really good time with that. If I ever do that video on my 2022 media thread or whatever, we'll definitely talk about that, because that was one of the entries. But yeah, that was a good time. And I have not heard of this series. I'll add it to the backlog, though. Especially since I just finished a recommendation from somebody else, which was Dragon Half. Which was fine. I want to say it was a decent time. But yeah, I'll add this to the list for now. AJustice90 asks, in a bit of a BlaCkNuurseVVitchUi mood right now, have you ever watched the first show, favorite Smash Brothers mains, and have you watched Symphogear? I do remember the original show. I also remember its theme song, but not much else of it. By the time it came out, I was kind of out of my, I want to say, Yu-Gi-Oh! Knockoff stage in life, where I was watching a lot of those. Because I remember shit like Battle Beat 'em On, and I guess instead of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's more so Beyblade knockoffs, kind of. But yeah, I've seen the original series. A little bit of it. Not too much to remember, though, for me. Outside of that, for Smash Bros. Main, I think I kind of showed you this when we did some online, but I usually play as characters such as Hero from Dragon Quest. Sometimes I'll use Little Max, sometimes I'll use Captain Falcon. Usually nowadays I'll stick with Hero, because I think I have a little bit more fun with it. As for Symphogear, I haven't watched it, but I've heard interesting things about it, so I'll add that to the backlog. Dark Goofy from World War II asks, have you seen Charlie's Angels? If so, any thoughts? And favorite Disney movie? I haven't seen Charlie's Angels, but I've heard interesting things about it. And as for my favorite Disney movie, probably Moana, I want to say. I think that one was really good. SusanSakuraSnowFox asks, have you ever watched anyone from Hololive Stars / Nijisani or V Shoujo? If yes, who? If not, any members you want to consider watching? Well, thanks for asking the question, sweetie. As for the answer, I've heard interesting things about, I think it was Noir Vesper. I follow their Twitter every now and again whenever they decide to post. I keep forgetting to check out their YouTube page because I'm busy with so much other shit. But outside of that, I don't think there's anybody else off the top of my head, although I would probably give them a watch. Overall, though, haven't seen anybody, but I want to consider watching Noir Vesper. Sleepy Commentator asks, how could you tell if the link/sources you have and use is valid and not biased, and whatever happened to Elenh Karakiou? When it comes to sources, usually I check multiple sources to make sure they're corroborating the same amount of information or the same accurate information. But usually I'll double check my sources to make sure they're accurate. If not, then I will make an update / pinned comment usually to say, hey guys, I fucked this up, my bad. Basically addressing it. And as for Elenh, he's still around on Twitter and stuff. He's existing, but I don't really talk to him nowadays. Omega Surfer Fanboy 2000 asks, have you heard that Kara the Wolf came back as Radiance Wolf? Any thoughts on Webtoon? Have you played The Witcher and favorite band cartoon? Yeah, I've heard of the Kara situation, as well as him coming back, and, get the fuck out of here, Kara the Wolf, we don't want you back. As for Webtoon, it's fine, although their practices and how they handle situations is, not very good, but I digress. I own the first Witcher, and I played a little bit of that, but that's about it. I haven't played the other two games, though. And as for favorite band cartoon, I don't think I've watched any band cartoons, actually. The closest I can think of was a band cartoon episode, but I think that was the fucking episode where Squidward was trying to get the Krabby Patty, or eat a Krabby Patty, and then the fucking oil dropped down and you got lit match or something. That's the closest I can think of, because usually I will not go out of my way to see it. Gamer of Gamers asks, did you see Gravity Falls? No, but I've seen some clips of it and it looks promising. Definitely a show I'll check out at one point, but not for now. Dan Alex asks, if David Grimm was in the Pokemon anime, what would their arc be? Do you watch Big Brother? If so, favorite and least favorite, and want to form an alliance? For first one, I think their arc is more so just trying to get over their inferiority complex. That's about it. So, it probably wouldn't if he had a show, it wouldn't last very long. Largely because I don't think many people would find that interesting, personally. I used to watch Big Brother. My favorite was Dan. My least favorite was just... What the fuck was his name? It was I think it was Willie Hance. Just fuck that guy. And one from an alliance. Sure. Master Wolf Gan Jik asks, have you seen God's School, the Olympian Gods? Any thoughts on Shadversity? And what do you think of remixes of popular music genres? I haven't seen the video that you're referring to, or the series, but I'll add it to the backlog. I never heard of Shadversity, but from what I'm looking up, yikes. That's not even getting into their coverage of AI art, and, yeah, that was a bad fucking defense. Just, Jesus Christ. As for remixes, I think they can be alright at some points, like, especially with video game remixes. Like, there's a reason I sub to a lot of metal, cover channels, because they can do some really good remixes / covers of, some good shit. And there are also some remixes of popular music that I also do like, every now and again. I think it's fine. And ASD asks, any thoughts on Yellow Flash 2? Favorite and least favorite Disney princess? And have you watched King of the Hill? My thoughts on Yellow Flash are similar to Hirohei, in which they're just a fucking grifter at this point, and I'm not interested in giving them attention / money. So, fuck them, frankly. Favorite Disney princess? I don't think the girl from Moana counts, so I guess out of the ones that, a lot of people associate with, I guess my favorite probably is, I want to say Cinderella. Least favorite being Ariel, and that's just because, well, not a fan of her actions in the movie, even if she does have a somewhat arc to it. I'm just not the biggest fan. And as for King of the Hill, I used to watch a couple, episodes now and again. I more so associate King of the Hill with YouTube poops, though, so... I guess, though, that does qualify as seeing it, so yeah, I've seen it. Fangirl Poison Ivy Girl Fan asks, have you played Team Fortress 2, and do you think Final Fantasy X is as bad as everyone said? I have played Team Fortress 2, and I think it's a pretty good game, still, even after all these years. As for Final Fantasy X, I have no idea, honestly, because I've never played it. One day, though. Sister Babob0 asks, worst episode of Digimon of all time, and any thoughts on Teen Titans Go? I'm so tempted to put Try on this list, but I'm not going to do that, just because they were released as episodes, but no, I'm going to go with the original series. I'm not the biggest fan of the episode where Izzy basically abandons Tentomon for a little bit. Like, that just... Jesus Christ. Fucking yikes. Not the big fan of it. As for Teen Titans Go, I was never a big fan of Teen Titans originally, so I was not interested in Teen Titans Go. As it stands, I just don't really care about it. It's just like, shrug, basically. Mega Harley Quinn Fangirl asks, have you heard the news about Tiny Toons Buster and Babs being brother and sister? What do you think of Nintendo not treating their old games right, and do you think Princess Rosaline is overrated? I have heard of it. It's a little bit weird considering the actions the two would do on the original series. It's like, why did you guys do this? What the fuck? As for Nintendo not treating their old games right, I think it's fucking stupid. Like, Jesus Christ, Nintendo, what the fuck? As for Princess Rosalina, no, I think she deserves the praise she has received up to this point. But that's just me, personally speaking. Elenh Karakiou asks, who's your favorite Digidestin and why? What do you think of Digimon's lack of female characters? Or do you think that Digimon lacks female characters? What do you think of the uncensored versions of Digimon and unintentionally hilarious moments? Favorite Digidestin... probably Rika from Tamers. I just think her arc was handled the best out of the three. Then again, it's kind of hard to find a bad arc from the Tamer trio, but I digress. But I think Riko's was my favorite. Although I don't think she qualifies as a Digidestin in that case. Oops. I guess outside of that, I'm going to go with TK. I just think he had a pretty decent character arc out of the rest. I think Digimon could handle its female representation a little bit better, but I think as it is, I think it's fine, usually. Not always, but I think for a decent amount of the series, they do it decently, especially as the series has gone on. But that's just me. It could be better, though. As for uncensored versions of Digimon, I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of the shit is like, oh, they changed guns to lasers or something. In which case, it's kind of similar to my thoughts on the censored Yu-Gi-Oh cards, which, shrug. And as for unintentionally hilarious moments...
Oh no, these needles are going to hurt my body made of armor.
ANGRYCOWBOY asks, have you played any of the Ninja Gaiden games? What are the differences between a ninja and a shinobi? Favorite ninja anime? Any thoughts on Antoons? And least favorite princess anime character? I played the first one on the NES, and that's about it. As for difference between ninja and shinobi, I have no idea, but I'm assuming a shinobi follows more so a code than a ninja does? Yeah, I'm not too sure on this one. Sorry. Ninja anime, probably Naruto, but that's only because I don't really watch a lot of ninja anime. As for Antoons, I do not like them. I don't like Antoons, basically. And least favorite princess anime character... Okay, does anyone remember Shield Hero? That fucking princess person that basically lied about what the main character is doing and, like, sentenced him to death or some shit? Yeah, I hate her. I flat out hate that character. So, yeah. Comment Homer Simpson asks, any thoughts on Akumu? Whatever happened to Comment Jack? And best commentary on you. I do not care about or like Akumu. I think they're just a fucking pretentious prick. So, basically me. But basically, I don't like Akumu. As for Comment Jack, I think they just left the internet. I don't know what else really happened to them after that. As for my favorite commentary on me, probably the video TP did on my top 15 Pokemon movies list. Again, sorry if I mispronounced this again, but Jim Kourtoullopoullos asks, have you heard about Warner Brothers losing the rights to Looney Tunes, well, parts of the Looney Tunes, on their 100th anniversary, and any thoughts on Black Critic Guy? I did not hear about this, but if that is true and that is happening, then fucking oops. As for Black Critic Guy, I've heard of some of the things they got involved in. Not a cool thing on their end. Nico Safer 1 asks, how long will you do Ask a Grimm, and any thoughts on Solid JJ? I'll keep doing Ask a Grimm as long as the questions keep coming in, and as long as I have the drive and inspiration to keep doing it. So, basically, I'll keep doing it as long as I can, / as long as the questions keep coming in, basically. As for Solid JJ, I think they're fine, but I'm not really sub to their channel, but I'll see a few clips of theirs every now and again, and they're alright. Kill9000 Jin 567 asks, did you hear about the return of Misanthropony? Which season of Survivor is underrated, and favorite Yu-Gi-Oh episode of all time? Put simply, I am not too happy that Zeta's barely learned anything, but whatever, he wants to dig himself into that fucking pothole, then that's on him. As for underrated Survivor season, probably Nicaragua. As for favorite Yu-Gi-Oh episode, probably the ending, or the last episode of the series. MarvelSquirrelBoyFan asks, have you heard about Star Giant Productions and Rosa Ray letting Nekopad, a predator, be in the server for months, and any thoughts on Shady Rurags? Yeah, I heard what Star Giant and Rosa were doing, and just, what the fuck, you two. As for Shady, Shoddy, whatever, Rurags, they look like another grifter / channel that wouldn't really be up my alley. So, not really my thing. Atreas licok, sorry if I mispronounced that again, asks, have you played Sonic Frontiers? Favorite Dragon Ball music? Any thoughts on Opal's Peaches? And have you read The Black Arrow? I haven't played Sonic Frontiers, but I've heard really good things about it. But, no, I haven't touched it yet. One day, though. Favorite Dragon Ball music? Probably a tie between Spirit vs. Spirit / the Deus Com, like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's music in Japanese, basically. Either that or Ultra Instinct's main theme. That's some good stuff. Hopeless Peaches, they're fine. Not really much to really say there. As for Black Arrow, I have not read it, but I'll add it to the backlog. Sexy Foxy Lady Commander number 123 asks, any thoughts on the movie Cynic, and have you seen the Odd Ones Out cartoon Oddballs on Netflix? I don't really have much thoughts on the movie Cynic. They exist, I guess? Shrug? Not really much I can say about them, though. And as for Oddballs, I haven't seen it. Xans Priness asks, any thoughts on Mr. Medicare, and have you played Doom? Medicare exists. Just shrug. And as for Doom, yeah, I played it. And it was pretty fun, I want to say, for the most part. And the final set of comments/questions come from Robin Crusoe Jr T. Have you seen any of Sarcastic Chorus's content and favorite Tommy Oliver moments from Power Rangers? Rip Jason. Before you ask this question, I never heard of Sarcastic Chorus, actually. As it is, though, it does not look up my alley. As for favorite Tommy moments, ooh, there's a bunch of really good ones. His first morph from Dino Thunder, his moment when he got the White Ranger suit was really nice. His Forever Red stuff was pretty cool. I did like the episode in Zeo where he was going to get the arrowhead, at least the first part, before they basically decided, no, let's split it up again. Ugh. But it was nice to see interactions with him and his brother, well, before his passing, but anyways. Stuff like that, basically. They were good moments. And with that, I believe I've gotten everybody for this episode of Ask a Grimm. So thank you all very much for asking your questions. I really do appreciate it. And if you have any questions for the next episode of Ask a Grimm, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Until then, I'm David Grimm, and thank you for watching.